Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the world's greatest podcast. Why are you laughing already, Wilco?
It's just, I don't know. It's been a funny sort of 10 or 15 minutes, really.
Oh, okay. Welcome, everybody, to this award-winning podcast. You're welcome. And shortlisted podcast. And I'll come on to that in just a minute. But we are here to entertain the nation, actually the world, probably, for all you everyday runners, for all you normal people out there who are running for whatever reason. We're with you. We like you. Well, those others can jog on. And tonight, we're going to be talking about, other than steaming, we're going to be talking about gels, fueling, right? That's what we're getting into because there's a lot of people not worrying about it at the moment. So we're going to be talking about that. We're going to talk about some of the, I'm going to say science, but we're not going to go deep, people, because other than me, I'm the only doctor here. The others are not. They're all thick. So we're going to talk briefly about what was it?
Wow.
We're going to talk briefly about that. But we are going to give you some tips, and we're going to give you our own experiences from real people, right? None of this is scripted. Okay. So just be aware, nothing has been planned. They literally had no idea what we're going to be talking about before we come on.
This is true.
That is true. They only just got to think. So we haven't actually thought about this. We're just going to roll with it because generally people are asking about fueling because race days are coming up thick and fast now. So that's why I thought we're going to. But before we do that, introduce the team. We've got admin here to keep an eye on Wilco. We've got Wilco here to keep an eye on Ben. And I'm here to keep an eye on all of them. Is that fair?
So what's Ben doing then?
What's Ben doing? Just walking the dog and putting on Strava like you. By the way, I've got to give a shout out to what they call Ben, their Instagram account.
Who?
That's took my Strava and put it on there. It was brilliant.
Oh, I'm not saying that word.
Admin, just close your ears for a second. Any kids listening, just put their fingers in their ears. It's called Strava Wankers on Instagram. It was brilliant because I think people genuinely think I'm serious with what I'm doing. So to take the piss out of Ben, I put my Strava on in McDonald's and I put it on my Strava purely based on last week's show. If you've got no idea what we're talking about, go back and listen to last week's show. It's a real good one. Anyway, that got taken by Strava, them, and they put it out because they like to name and shame people. But what they don't realise is I think it's even better now that they put that out. So they're trying to name and shame me, make me look like a helmet, which I probably am. But actually what they've done is they've given me more ammunition. So well done. That Instagram account, we love you. Thanks very much, mate.
I'm not actually sure this podcast is going to make it out there because you've used.
No.
That's fine. No, we've got the explicit thing. It's fine.
Yeah. It's all good. It's all good. Anyway,
cool. Right,
I did pre-warn them. I did pre-warn everyone. We are recording this live, which you might have guessed from the carnage that's ensuing. So if you are watching and listening to this live, thank you for joining us. Get your questions, get your comments. We want to talk to you about fueling, so get that in. Okay, I've been doing a lot of fueling while I've been out here in Lisbon, and we will come on to that. So get your questions and comments in. I've just seen Hayden at the bar. I had to get his drinks for him because he couldn't see over the top. They didn't think it was the age. Right. So first, shout outs. I forgot to do the shout outs. Let's go with Cooper first. Should we go with Cooper first? If you want, what is it? Free trial, 20%. You go over to fordyruns.com/Cooper. Knock yourself out. Free trial, 20% off. You're not going to get that deal anywhere else. You're welcome.
You get a free trial for 2 weeks.
Whatever I don't know. I don't read it. No one cares anyway. They skip through this bit. We do want to give a shout out because we're talking about fueling today. Kendall, and if you may have noticed on their social media at the moment, there's a rather handsome young man. What was it?
Young, handsome. What?
Yeah, me. And I'm on there promoting their stuff because they gave me a microphone at the National Running Show, which is the worst thing you can do because I start talking nonsense. But I'm all over their social media at the moment, so you're welcome. Kendall, use the code of 40 runs. You get some of them. Always get over to Start Fitness and use the code 40 runs there. You're going to get a discount. And lastly, I do want to make sure if you've not yet joined as an affiliated member for the 40 Runs Running Club, there's so many benefits that you get. Okay. You can join for free. You don't have to pay to be part of an app. You don't have to give your money to England Athletics if you don't want to. You can just join for free and everything that's on the website you get. If you want to be an affiliated member, which we are actually cheaper than England Athletics, and that's stating facts, then you can join as well and become affiliated with us, okay? And there's obviously benefits to that as well. But that's all on the website. Go and check that out. Right, plugs done.
No, hold on. Can we do one more? Because I
What?
actually think you did something useful this week.
Oh,
Did he?
Yeah.
hold tight. Let me
I
write
missed
this down.
this.
No, you
I'll
actually.
get a pen out.
It's the only thing I'm going to compliment you on for a long time. So
Got a pen. Let's go.
you put something out about training plans that people can download from the site. I think that's really important.
Oh, is it? It's a bit late now. Then most of them have got their races coming up.
Yeah, but
But it's a
I'm
good
actually
point.
being nice to you.
No,
Thank you, Sabrina, for
What I
the
would say, because
compliment.
actually,
Yeah.
I've had 3 people email me just today asking about training plans, because I think people are now thinking, I know we've got spring coming out, like 10Ks and things like that,
Yeah.
getting faster over the summer. So, or you may have like an autumn marathon that you're starting to think about now. I do write personalized training plans for a lot of people. There's ones you can just download off the website anyway. If you're doing Catch the 5K, there's a free one on there, but I personally recommend using the NHS app because it's brilliant. But yeah, so if you want to find out about the coaching, get over there and do all that. Thank you, admin, for the plug.
That's all right. You're welcome.
Okay, team. So we've not talked about anything running related because we're going on because I just briefly explained what I was doing, why we're going on so late. I've got this new device. It's called a steamer, and it cleans everything. It's brilliant. If anybody knows what I'm actually talking about, put it in the comments. It's like a gun, and you just go and shooting everything with steam, and it cleans everything. Ben, you need to get one in your house. I can only think about the muck that's all around your place. It's disgusting.
Sorry.
So you steam everything. Maybe I'm like 3,000 years behind.
I think you are.
It's so good. It's like if you're really struggling with life, yeah, just get your steamer and walk about and spray it with it. It's like a dopamine hit. It's like calm. It's like sitting on a riverbank fishing. It's so good. I can't recommend it enough to anybody.
It's just therapeutic then, mate. It's just going to help.
I find it
with all the
therapeutic.
other
Yeah,
stuff
with everything that's
buzzing
going on,
around.
you just honestly just go around and I've steamed the dog. I've steamed
I
everything.
was just about to say, did you steam buds?
No, I didn't steam the dog. But yeah, so that's what I was doing. Sorry. So that's why I was late.
This is right up there with my recently purchased robotic vacuum cleaner.
There you go. See, I know. Admin's got her head in like her hands.
That's because she's like, when we get to your guys' age, this is what we've got to look forward to.
Mick just said,
Your
my face
guys.
is priceless. I think it's going to get worse, Mick, if I'm honest. We've got another 52 minutes of this.
Mick, this is. Oh, and the good thing is my mouse that's controlling the whole of this live stream. I've just been told could be running out battery any second.
Great.
So if we go dark, people, it is what it is.
It's still going to be the best hour of your weekend, though. So
It might not be an hour. It might be 12 minutes.
50.
Hold on, someone's in Arizona.
Yeah, we from Prescott. We've had this conversation. I love Prescott. If anybody's been to Arizona, Prescott's definitely one place to go. Absolutely beautiful place, beautiful, stunning place. In fact, Arizona is just gorgeous. Anyway, everyone should move there. We should sack off this country and we should all move there. I might start my own country within Arizona. The FORDY runs country. What do you think, admin?
No.
Well,
Okay.
If you went there, you'd hate it. So don't suggest that.
Okay. Wilco, you're in charge of questions in the comments thing because I think genuinely, people,
Okay,
we are going to calm down in a minute and talk about gels, fueling, and all that sort of stuff. Okay. And we are going to go knee deep in this. All right. We're going knee deep. All right. So just be aware. Ben, by the way, do you like my t-shirt?
I do.
Hero.
You're not in London, though, are you?
No, I'm in Lisbon. It should have Lisbon written on it.
Oh, that's what I thought.
There we go. Okay, team, I just want to recap because some of us were at the Chelmsford Hub, others were just sitting at home eating. Admin.
I was at a wedding.
What were you doing?
I was at a wedding.
Oh, we'll let you off. Wilco, how did you find the Chelmsford Half Marathon?
Yeah, it's good, mate. Yeah, it went okay. It was I regarded it as a training run. Didn't want to go too mad, so I did half of it as sort of like my marathon pace. Second half a little bit quicker, and then had a very stressful, longest 10 minutes of my life waiting for the pub to open. We actually the people at the Wheat Sheaf in Colchester in Chelmsford, give them a shout out. It's a lovely pub, but they didn't open until 12, and we ran round Chelmsford a little bit too early to get there on time. So there was a sight of about 20 FORDYs standing on the front doorstep, banging on the door, asking the nice people at the Wheat Sheaf to open up. But they did, and a good time was had by all. It was excellent. I had a really nice time.
Shouldn't have run so fast, brother. Shouldn't have run so.
Well, you know.
Are you tapering yet, by the way?
Huh?
Are you tapering yet?
Nah.
Do you taper on the Hanson?
10 days.
Ooh.
10 days on the Hanson.
Yeah. So what are we? Brighton's 4 weeks. So
Is
I've got another. I mean, the next 10 days are pretty hard work, and then it starts to scale down a little bit. And then my last sort of tempo run is 10 days out. So yeah, it's going okay though. I'm not too.
Yeah.
I've not really got that in previous camp out. I'm sure all of you can sort of empathise with this. Like that week 9, week 10. Oh Christ, when's it going to end? I've had enough. This time it hasn't happened. There's been enough sort of novelty and different stuff on the plan to keep me interested. So that's worked quite well. So fingers crossed. That's a good sign.
Good for you. Right. I've got a question for you. They all look nervous. No, this is a serious one. So race season, apart from for admin, but race season has started. Okay.
Yellow card.
Let's say for admin, wedding season started. So race season has started. Race season started. Remember, I'm in Lisbon. You can't get me. What are you on now, based on this race season started? How do your priorities change? And I'm not talking about steaming the shower clean, right? But how do your priorities change? How does the way you look at stuff change? It's an interesting question, and I'll tell you why in just a minute. Wilco. Ben, because we haven't spoken to him. Ben, how do your priorities change now we're coming into, let's say, the main course is on its way?
Yeah. So I think for me, I kind of, within my training plan, I'll have trained. I am actually running, by the way.
I was going to say, have you been in a training plan?
Yeah, I was like, this is a really.
You can't count walking as being in a training plan.
I mean, I was like, when Wilco said week 9's been really, I'm like, yeah, it's great. It's actually involved running for me. No, I think for me, when I look and planning the races into the training plan, so I'll then use those as kind of measurements of where I'm at. So I'll decide if I'm going to go for it on that day. And it gives me that kind of benchmark, really. So Winter 10K, great example. And I went out on that one. That was probably the kick up the backside that I needed to get my life in gear with running wise. But actually was quite a nice. Almost it gives you that boost that you're on track, but you don't necessarily need to do. If on your plan you've got a 16 miler or an 18 miler, if you're going out and doing a hard half marathon, you can sub that in instead.
Does anybody? It's a bit weird. Does anybody sit there and think about peanut M&Ms at any time? That's what I've been sitting there thinking about.
In what context, mate? What
I want to eat some.
Is that it? What? While you're running along, you think about?
No, just while Ben was
while
talking.
I was talking.
Do you like the peanut ones or the crispy ones?
No, they can't have the crispy ones because Daisy had some. They're rank. No, I was just thinking about it. There's some downstairs.
Yeah.
I'm like,
well, wait. Yeah, just
Wait
pretend.
till your mouse runs out.
Yeah, wait till your mouse runs out. Pretend you've gone off. Then nip downstairs, get the M&Ms, bring them back.
Does anyone want a mouse update?
Yes, please. What percentage are we on?
I don't want to touch it though. 17%.
Oh,
right, we'll
no.
Get back onto sensible. Sorry, Ben, I was interested. What's your priorities? How does your priorities change now that you are 4 weeks basically out from Brighton?
I'm starting to think a bit more about race day, about sort of like the arrangements, what's thing. I'm looking at a few more videos on YouTube to have a look at the course and it's sort of like any sort of like things that I might not have thought about. I'm trying to sort my hydration out a little bit, trying to drink, take a hydration tablet during the day, put it in this while I'm sat at my desk. I've started doing things like that, started to think a little bit more about what I'm eating and just basically trying to get my act together a little bit.
Okay. I mean, in terms of like personal life, when you was marathon track, back when you used to do some running, when you was doing like marathons and things, half marathons, how did your priorities change on a personal level around as we get closer to the big day?
Yeah, I think it's about becoming considered with choices, right? So as everyone knows, I like going out to eat. I've got a good social life and I'm always out doing something. But I think it's about, you become more mindful around, right, actually, what do I need to eat? When do I need to eat? Actually, sleep. I know it sounds really silly, but that's one of the things that I definitely always used to think about was like, actually, I need to get more rest because you're at that point where you're tired, right? You're 8, 9, 10, however many weeks into a training plan. you may or may not have a bit of consistency, but you'll have miles in your legs and you're going, actually, I've got another few weeks of this. So I think for me, always, it's like, actually, how do I start prioritizing the rest as well as the running at this point as well? Because both go hand in hand. You're not going to get very far if you're only doing the running without the recovery.
Yeah, it's good. That's a good point, actually, especially about the sleep and stuff. It is the reason I thought of it is because, again, talking to clients and stuff this week, it is that now getting to that point where you're going to have to be making decisions around the weeks or week leading up to the big day. Is that sort of thing? If people are asking you maybe for meetings in town that you could probably sack off and do via Zoom, or do you really need to go to the pub? Wilco will, but do you really need to go to the pub that close to race day, or do you need to do this? It's just it's like, how do your priorities? Do you? I mean, you might already be doing this. Yeah, you might live in a pub. Yeah, go on, Abby.
I was going to say, I think everybody's different as well, because
Yeah.
I think it depends on what you're running for and why, right?
Yeah.
So actually, some people, if you're going out there, for the enjoyment, to run, to be social, then actually some of those things are equally important, whether it be for your mental health or whatever, right?
Agreed.
Because actually you may live on your own and they're your points of interactions with other people, and therefore they should be equally prioritized as well as running. For some people, actually, it's about going to run a time and seeing actually the progress you've made or the work you've been doing and the output of that. And so I think it's about thinking about what and why, like why and what you're trying to get out of race day, essentially, as well, to think about what are those choices that you want to make in the lead up to it.
And also, if things are starting to you're getting a bit anxious, things are starting to get on top of you a bit, going back into your normal routine and doing the things that make you feel comfortable with, within reason, that can help as well. And then it doesn't become too all-consuming, and you get wound out. Oh, I can't do this, I can't do that. There are things that you can. You just mentioned going to the pub. I went to the pub yesterday, but I was sat outside because the weather was so beautiful. So it's not like I'm going to be worrying about, oh, I'm going to catch. It's always sort of like everybody's like, oh,
this geezer got in the lift.
Cold.
This geezer got in the lift today. I wanted to knock him out
and sneezed or something. Yeah,
he sniffed. Firstly, I don't like that noise anyway. And if you're going to get in the lift, don't do that near me, right? But he got in and he sniffed, and I looked at him because it's like, and then I looked at him. I think he was aware I was looking at him, and then he did it. So I moved over to the corner and I held my breath the whole way. That's how neurotic I am now about it, because I think. So my point is that I'm thinking about it, about this sort of stuff. Don't go to my level, by the way, because that's mental. But it's just all I'm saying is what are your priorities? Again,
you do. You go, I don't want to get sick now. Like, I remember that, like just before marathon, you think, oh my God, I've done 15 weeks of hard training. If I get a cold now in this last week, you become a bit like, don't come near me. I've run how many 20 milers? I don't want to see you, touch you. Don't
sniff near me.
Yeah.
Don't even look at me.
You're not going to see me in the office 2 weeks before my marathon. I won't be going.
That's what I'm saying. So that's priorities.
Hold on, sorry, but on the flip side of that, we're going to go in a metal tube over to the other side of the world.
Who's going in a metal tube
to run a marathon? And that's like a concubine, like do you know what I mean? Like that's just recirculated air so how do you cope with that? What's your plans for that? So
you go to abroad, so you go on a plane.
When you race abroad, how do you cope with that?
I take a lot of diazepam. And I basically knocked out.
That
so you're not breathing.
Do I stop breathing when I'm knocked out? I wear face masks. I wear everything. Chemical suit, wipes, everything. If I will do everything I can.
That's brilliant.
To stop that. No, it's true. It's a good point. No, it's very true.
Because it's always that element that you think, oh, okay, yeah, cool. But then when we're there, it's then like, oh, I don't want to touch anyone. You're like, might be a bit late.
Even here, you think about it, you go to the Expo, right? London Marathon, prime example.
Which I don't think they should do, by the way.
We know. We all know.
I mentioned that.
Yeah, we heard, mate.
Yeah,
No, but I think it's true. I don't think you should. I was actually thinking about this on another level. Actually, and this is a serious question. Like, if you're a bit like me and you don't like that sort of stuff, should there not be an option? I've been deadly serious.
All right. What do you mean?
Should there not be an option?
I think they should.
That if you
Absolutely.
don't want to go there, I think it's brilliant if you're doing your first London to get that experience, to listen to the people on stage, to meet other people, and all that kind of stuff. The experience of getting your number and all, I think that's brilliant. But I think if you're going for your second time or whatever, or maybe you qualified, I think they should at least give you the option. And I'm not saying that I want special treatment because I'm neurodivergent, but I'm just saying I think there should be a box that I should be able to tick and say, that's massively uncomfortable for me in terms of sensory overload, and I'm going to be deregulated probably for the rest of the day once I've been there. Yeah, that's think about the amount of energy that I have to put in to, firstly, to get there. Which is brilliant anyway. So, but anybody like me, or has built like hardwired differently, yeah, that could be quite an overwhelming sensation. So, even if it's your first London marathon, it may be a little bit strong.
I think
I don't know. I just wonder if they should give you an option.
In all seriousness, mate, I think now that people, like my workplace, we've got a neurodivergent group, and we're looking at these sort of things to make people. I'm on it actually. I'm on the working group because I think I'll try and get it on this, so I know how get a bit of appreciation of how Chris's mind works and stuff like that. In all seriousness, so I just think
I love you, Wilco. That's a really nice thing to do, isn't it?
But it's
true.
I think so. We're becoming more aware of it, and I'm sure other people's workspaces are. So I think eventually that will happen because people will be more. So I think it's a brilliant idea, and I'm sure you wouldn't. You would say, "Oh, okay." What if they said, "Well, it will cost you a tenner"?
Go to charity, have it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
I'll
even
take more than that, to be honest.
even if you just had to pay for the postage, £5.95, whatever it is, right, to make sure it.
I don't mind.
I think regardless of, and whilst we all know probably, but neurodiversity, all of those things, inclusivity is really important, right? But it should just be a choice, because regardless of whether it be around disability of some sort, there's actually a cost associated that, for some people it's a time thing, like work, all of those things. So it's as much as I believe for all of those reasons as well, I think there's a multitude of reasons why posting a race number, and with London Marathon, it's not like you can change numbers or sign up a week before, right? Realistically, and if you do for a charity or whatever, then that's a different process, and you will have to go and get your number. But most people, I'd say, the ballot is 6-8 months in advance or whatever. So you've got the majority of people. There is no reason why a month in advance you can't sort out posting out numbers. And there'll still be a number of people that will go, actually, I want to go to the Expo because I want that experience. I want to go and see the stuff. Completely right. And that's fair. And that's
you might already have your number, but still want to go.
Exactly.
But give them the option. Give them the option. That was my point. Yes,
but what would happen?
Oh, here we go.
I'm on this today, devil's advocate. But what would happen? So, you've got your international runners, so they have to go to the Expo. So when we go to Chicago, we have to go. But also, what happens when your number gets stolen in the post or goes missing?
There's still an option to go there. You still got an
no. But you've paid the £5 to get, or you've paid the amount to get. How many people would potentially? I'm not saying that this is the case, but look at how many people are unsuccessful in the ballot. There may be those people who are unscrupulous and say my number never arrived when it did, and then you've got.
But then,
so how do you manage that? That's all I'm. Yeah, go on.
Because then, you get your number sent to you, it goes missing in the post.
Yep.
Right. When you go to get a replacement number,
a lot of postmen running around the mouth.
Yeah, poor old Posty. I'm worried about him now.
Yeah.
We love you, Peter.
I've just undone my point anyway, because I was going to say, when you go to pick up that number, the other one should be like, no,
because in fairness, what he's saying is right. I mean, you have to
he is.
and all that sort of stuff. So
but,
I know,
but it's just that because equally, it might not go missing in the post. It could be that you've got a mate who didn't get in the ballot, and you kind of put up that thing of it went missing in the post. And
it's that, because actually that's what I was going to say, is that even though if they can kill the chip on the back of it so they don't get a chip time, they can still go and run the course and get a medal at the end, can't they? Because they'll have a number
we
on
are
and go
talking
through.
about the minority, aren't we, really?
We are, but
it
tends to be the minority who ruin it for the majority, right?
Yeah,
maybe it needs to be assigned for. If you do it via post, then it has to be assigned for and give your ID.
My point is I think, and actually it's a good point about the sign for, because you could add that into the cost of sending it out. Yeah. I just think, I don't know how we got on this subject, but in terms of things like expos, because even like Brighton, you've got to go down there and get it.
Do you?
Have we?
Have we not? I thought we had to go and get it.
I think
I'll be honest. I haven't.
I
researched
thought
this.
it was
Manchester came in
posted.
the post, so I don't think.
I
Brighton's
thought there
got
was
an
a thing
Expo.
that you always had to go down and get them.
You know how you were saying that I've got 4 weeks to go and I need to sort out what's going on and
No.
everything. Then, well, I'm going to be immediately getting
That's
on the
just
website
added-
as soon as we finish to see. Yeah,
Wilco's now Googling that. Could anyone let us know in the comments if you're watching this live and you haven't switched off? Can you let us know if that's true? I thought you had to get it on the Saturday or
you
something.
used to. I think you used to, but I thought it was okay. Send out, get old Debbie.
Well,
Well,
Debs. So London Marathon events, the reason I brought that up was because London Marathon events now run Brighton. It's a unique experience, isn't it? Sending them out. My point is I just think people should be given an option.
Yeah.
I'm looking at it purely from a selfish point of view because
No, but you're affected by that condition. You know, that's fine.
I'm built differently. So,
And there should be the option, as you said, like as you say, if it's.
and I'm
in
not
your
looking
home
for special
country-
care, by the way. I'm not just saying that. I just think everybody should be given a choice because, as admin rightly said, there's a cost involved. It's people having to travel down from other parts of the country. Not everyone lives in London. So I think the whole thing really it needs re-examining from my side in terms of the way I am, but also from other things. I think it's a bit old school now. It's a bit like all that's past, isn't it?
Yeah.
Where it was like
People will be willing to pay for it.
1987.
So
What?
it's
What
not
is
like
it?
they're going to be at a loss. People will be willing to pay for it. So
Yeah.
give them the option.
And people probably still go to the Expo as well because it's kind of cool. But give people the option. Anyway, let's move on to fueling. And Wilco, other than fueling questions, is there anything else in the chat?
No, well, to be honest, I was trying to be focused and just have a look at the fueling questions, really, mate. So there's a lot of talk about. Mike Gordon asked what our pre-long run breakfast is. Bagels with peanut butter and banana for him.
Right, admin, when you used to run, when you wasn't just partying and going to weddings, what was your pre? I tell you what, what's your pre-wedding breakfast?
I don't even know what I had on the day of my wedding. But pre-race breakfast, bagel, peanut butter with a bit of honey on it and a banana. Something similar.
Like milk.
Wilco?
I have sort of like granola.
Oh,
You
I
know?
like a bit of granola. I'll
With
see
what?
that at Potters.
Yogurt or milk?
No, I just like. Well, I don't drink.
Is that the stuff they give to
normal
squirrels?
milk, pretty much.
I
And
like that.
I've heard a great tip about flapjacks as well. So I'm going to be pre-match. So I'm going to be diving in. Isn't it wonderful when something you love, people advise you that it's what you should eat before you do your marathon? It's just like, oh.
Do you know what
Good
my
old
other tip
Lucy.
is? The night before, sticky toffee pudding.
Oh,
My friend's a nutritionist and she told me that's the trick. A proper dessert the night before a marathon. She went, you should have had all your carbs by that point. A good dessert's what's going to do
with
it.
custard. Well, loads of sugar in that
Custard.
as well.
Yeah.
Oh,
Wilco's like, he's got his
loving life.
menu sorted.
I've done now.
Yeah. Ben, what about you?
I have porridge with natural yogurt in the morning.
Who eats natural yogurt?
Me.
I'm not being funny. That's disgusting.
Me.
I'd
With
rather
some
eat
fruit.
those Sif stuff that you spray on the side. Talking about my Sif, I'd rather drink that than your natural yogurt.
Don't drink Sif, people.
No, don't do
Yeah,
that.
don't try this at home. So yeah, I'll have
Natural.
porridge. Oh, my dog wants to say hello. Look, there you go, guys.
Ben,
Oh.
focus.
So porridge with natural yogurt. Then I'll have a cereal bar and a banana about half an hour before I start.
Cool.
Okay.
Graham said about electrolytes in there. Did gels have electrolytes in them?
Some do.
Yeah, and our thoughts on salt tablets. Well, I think our thoughts on salt tablets have been well documented, Ben, haven't they?
Ben works for him.
Yeah, I love them.
He's
I've
on
got-
commission.
Salt sticks.
I've
Got
got
to
mine ready for tomorrow. Not paid. Because I don't know what's on the course at Brighton. So probably some old tut. So we've got this.
Is your
It's
tummy
usually-
all right with them?
Yeah, I've had them before, and I've been. I took them to where was that? Well, I ate about 50 of these. Was it Berlin?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
You just get
What's the
munching.
pink ones? I've not had the pink ones.
These are
Pink grapefruit, isn't they?
watermelon. Oh, no,
watermelon. Ooh.
grapefruit should be banned. Expos
No,
and grapefruit
watermelon.
should be banned. No, watermelons are amazing.
Watermelon are quite nice.
No.
Yeah, the orange or the lime ones are excellent.
No, because they go well with the old raspberry and mint.
Oh well, we're just coming on to KMG.
You're welcome.
Somebody said, how many Kent Mindle gels would they suggest for a marathon?
Well, let's go on to that. Right. So I wrote some of this down so I don't cock any of this up because there is some proper stuff to talk about. So we're now going to move on to the main course, people. That's if we make it because the battery's 14%. So, Ben, number of gels you should take during a marathon depends on factors like your body weight, race pace, and how long you expect to be running. Right?
Okay.
How many generally how many do most runners take during a race?
During a marathon?
Yeah.
Just
me
a
a
quiz.
Yeah,
Was it a quiz?
you only have to give me a number. It's not technically. It's a question to
I'm
you.
going to say 6.
Okay.
7.
Most runners take 7. Okay, Wilco.
No, I think because some people don't take any, so I'd go about 5.
It's 3 to 5.
There you go.
I take 6.
Okay, so some guidelines for you all. I wrote this down again. Not to make that. Typically, again, I'm just going to put a caveat or like a big circle around all this and saying everybody's different. What we're going to tell you tonight does not necessarily work for you. Okay, everybody's metabolism's different. Everybody's body weight's different. I'm very light. Ben's not. So you've got everybody. You've got all different heights. I'm very tall. Hayden's not. Yeah, everybody is different. Okay, so it's really, really important that you remember this. Everybody works different and not necessarily everyone can go on with gels and all that sort of stuff. All right. So just putting that caveat out there. All right. Just say, admin, don't bother me later on WhatsApp. So typically, well, that means warning when I say typically, you want to take a gel between 30 to 45 minutes after the first 45 minutes of the race. That ensures your body has a steady supply of carbs through the run. Okay. Now, carb requirements. This is where it goes on to what we're talking about in terms of the gels and things like that. Gels typically provide around 20 to 30 grams of carbs. Now, I've listed some down. All right. So Morton gel, 25 grams. Kendall Mint, 27. High Five, 23. GU, whatever they're called, 22. Cis, Go Energy Sports Gels, 22. Okay. That's basically per gel. All right. Now, most, the International Society of Sports Nutrition recommends consuming 30 to 60 grams of carbs per hour when exercising for longer than an hour. So that's for an hour. So shorten it. You ain't a million miles away, but you're not 100% there. Okay. So that's what you need to think about. You may need to do a little number crunching to determine how many gels you need and when. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's why some people take them like 30 minutes and they're sort of doubling up in a way. Yeah. It depends how you work and what you need. Don't forget also the pre-race, you should have had something. Okay. So whether it's a carb-rich meal or some sort 2-3 hours beforehand. So you're going to have some, you're already ahead of the game, ideally. Okay. Another thing to think about is that within the drinks that you're taking, there's going to be some form of calorific amount in there, okay, or whatever way you look at it, okay. Just I've not got them up here, but like there's going to be providing it, like Lucasade Sport, for example, has got a load of calories in it, okay. So think about that as well, okay. So take that into your sort of maths as you're working it out. Does that make sense, guys? Have I explained that quite clearly in terms of numbers?
It's understandable how people can find it a little bit intimidating.
Yeah. Okay. 2 other things to think about. Caffeine content.
Mm-hmm.
Some gels have caffeine in. I've got this one that's actually out of date, but I've got this because it was on the side.
Steal that off me.
No, I might well have done, to be honest. So this is caffeine high. So I'm taking that because I take a Kendall caffeine gel, right? But I just found that one, so I've just literally just chucked it on the side.
That's going to be fun tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm just going to take that instead as part of the training, just to get myself used to it, because caffeine can help boost performance. I think we all know that. But some people are sensitive to its side effects. I know someone in particular. Someone likes a lot of beetroot. And too much caffeine, honestly. So to balance your caffeine intake, you want to alternate between caffeinated and non-caffeinated gels. Okay, so don't just like smash a load of caffeine. It's one tip to all of you, right? Because you could be in trouble. And again, Wilco, you was talking about electrolytes. So some gels do contain electrolytes, so that can help. So extra sodium, magnesium in them, and it's a convenient way to get the carbs and the electrolytes together. Some gels do that, but again, your tolerances to that may be impacted. All right. So that's some of the numbers, okay, based around this. Now we're going to talk about, and I've got sort of, three, I hate word tips, but ideas for you to think about to wrap it all up. But before we do that, I want to ask the guys what they do, again, individually. Or should I tell them what I do first?
Yeah, you go first.
I'll tell you, actually, I'll put some context on all this. If you're still with us and not asleep, let me know in the comments. Basically, the Chelmsford Half Marathon, I got my fueling wrong, right? This is mainly because I basically forgot to take any gels with me. I know, Ben, you reminded me, but there was some in the car. And long story short, I only had 2 in the car. So I kind of just had to cowboy up and just have what I had. I know you reminded me, but I didn't anyway. What I should have done, or what I was planning to do, because I was doing a push effort, so a higher effort for me than I normally would run at a half marathon, I needed to take 3 gels. And the plan when I'm doing that is usually about 30 to 35 minutes. I'll take a gel into the race. I'm not somebody who takes one before the race. Some people do. Again, depends on your needs. But I will take them in a half marathon, if I'm going for it, 30 to 35 minutes through the race. Okay. That was the plan. Went a bit sideways. I only had 2. That's one of the reasons. There was many, as Ben knows, but one of the reasons why it went a bit sideways. Okay, because I think I run out of fuel effectively during that race, and that's what made me think about this whole thing. And I think that's why I was picking up on everybody talking about fueling, because of my sensitivity around it. So that's what it is. So on a marathon, I will fuel roughly 4 miles. Roughly 4 miles. Based on the assumption that I'm running, Ben, don't laugh, 8-minute miles. 8 minutes. The reason I'm saying not to laugh, because he knows that I rarely hit that in the marathon. But let's say London last year, I was running 8. I was actually under that. But basically, I was every 4 miles on the dot. When Lucas Aid Sport was on the course, I'm using London as an example, I would take some of that. If I'm not, like I said to you, I've got the salt sticks there. I'll take that at 5 miles, right? Ben does it the other way around. He'll come on to it in a second. But I do it like that. So I'll fuel at 4 and I have a salt stick at 5, for argument's sake. I may have one if it's a hot day at 3 and then go that way round and go before my gel. Depends if it's hot or not. Okay. So that's how I go. My last gel is a caffeine gel. The reason that is because I want a little bit of energy. I want something to wake me up, to bring me back to life. And that's why I tend to take a caffeine gel in the closing stage. My last gel will always be a caffeine gel. It's the only one I take throughout the race. Again, everybody's different. I can't have too much caffeine during the race because of IBS. All right. So that's what I do. Not saying that's what you should do. Wilco, what do you do?
Not too differently from you. I will have a gel before I start, usually sort of like while I'm lining up, 5-10 minutes before I go. I've just found that just gives me a bit of a lift to get going. 4 mile intervals, but I find this not necessarily because it's what I find that I need, and from a nutritional perspective, I find this works from a mental perspective. Having sort of like every 4 miles, and also it means that I'll have 6, and then it's sort of like, right, I can have another gel, right? Oh, 8, another gel. 2 more miles, I'll have another gel, and it breaks up the race while I'm doing it. And it also, although it may not, because obviously it always makes me laugh when you see footballers coming on a sub and they're taking the gel and things like that. It's not going to work for another 45 minutes, mate. You're just wasting your time. But I always think that having one at 24 miles breaks up the last 4 miles, because then it becomes 2 2s. And I will have the salt tablets as well at sort of like sometimes at half time between, like, you know, if I've got like 12 and 16, I might have one at 14. I might have one at 18 and stuff like that. So similar sort of stuff and similar day to you, but not necessarily from a nutritional thing, more in a giving me something to look forward to, but an organisation.
Yeah, so yours is not
It's from an organisational mental perspective.
Okay, so yours is not performance related. You're not looking at the science. And again, just to be absolutely clear, if you get your fueling right, yeah, and if you dial it in, the amount of what you're getting related to your body, your blood sugar levels, everything like that. That's why, like Admin's mate is a nutritionist who works for these football clubs. Because if you get the nutrition side right, honestly, it can make a huge difference to your performance. Likewise, if you get it wrong, it can go tits up very quickly. I'm going to give you 2 tips you just made me think about. Again, tips. Firstly, if you're doing like a marathon, whatever, or half marathon, night before, but don't forget, put a big bloody sign on the fridge, put them in the fridge. Yeah, because they're going to be on your body somewhere. You're going to be generating heat. They're going to taste rank when you come to do. So put them in the fridge, okay? Just make sure it says on there that you can, or says that you can't, probably that way. Last thing, based on what Wilco said, write numbers on them. Write numbers on them so you're counting down your gels or counting up. So it's a cycle. So you pull out, number 1. Oh, no, hang on. I needed number 2. So it's something else. It's a distraction, but also you're using it as a mental tool. And you can count down or count up, or you can write stuff on there. Like you can write motivational stuff on there. You can get a Sharpie pen and say, I love Ben. Or you can, whatever you could do. You can put anything on there that you want. And as you take it out, use it as a tool.
I think it's interesting your tip about having a caffeine gel for the last one. I'd not thought of that before, and I think that sounds like.
Oh yeah, I mean, if you're gonna go caffeine, I mean, again, some people like to alternate them through the race. I have done it. Didn't work out that well, but it's I always go last one. It's like I'm looking forward to that one because I know if it's anything's going to help me, it'll be that one. It might not make any difference, but when I've used them, it seems to have perked me up a little bit.
That's
so
what
that's
I
one
think
to use. Always drop one. And again, use that for training, people.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's a golden rule for everything.
Yeah, I've got 21 miles tomorrow. I'm going to try it there. I'm not try it, but I'm doing it to put it back into my routine. I totally forgot to buy the Lucozade Sport this week because I was meant to be using Lucozade Sport this weekend just to mirror what's on the London Marathon. I'll have to get some for next week's race. Ben, it's a job for you to remind me. But you can get it in your Sainsbury's bag and carry around your Sainsbury's bag. But you can just try these stuff while you're doing. And again, like as I said, just take that. I'm practicing with what's on course. That's deliberate. You do the same. Yeah. Admin, what about you when you used to do running? Do you take gels when you're at weddings, by the way?
No.
Oh.
Too much food. I've got it wrong plenty of times, like we all have. And then I found that if I'm doing hard effort, half or marathon, so I actually take 3 gels and a half, which some people think is excessive. But if I want to give it a really good shot, I know. Then I do the same thing in a marathon. So I actually go every 3.5 miles. I found that 4 was just too long for me. And I wasn't getting the benefit that I needed. So I now go 3.5, 7, 10.5, 14, 17.5, 21. And
well done for the maths.
Yeah, 24.5. But I take one really late, that 24.5. And it's probably a placebo effect. It probably doesn't do anything at that stage. But in my head, it's just giving me that last little kick. And by the time you've taken that over, a couple of minutes, you're like, right, I've got less than 2 miles to go now. I've run 2 miles 10,000 times in my life. I can get around this. So
yeah, exactly.
But I definitely, it's trial and error, as we've all said. You've got to test what's right for you. Caffeine didn't do anything for me, didn't work, just gave me an upset tummy. So I stay away from it. I take exactly the same gel, all 6-7 gels, always.
Can I just ask about caffeine? Like the two of you have both suggested that you get sort of like IBS and stuff like that for caffeine. Do you drink a lot of caffeine anyway? Do you drink coffee during the day and stuff?
No, I might have 1 coffee every couple of days if I'm out somewhere at the office. A tea maybe once a day, if that. Like I could go a few days not having like tea or coffee. I might have a Coke or a Coke Zero. That's about it. So for me, I'm not a huge caffeine drinker, and therefore
my Tassimo works overtime. I cane coffee.
Oh,
and you might find Wilco with that. So we'll talk that. I do a lot of caffeine gels in America, and I think that's placebo effect. Caffeine doesn't massively impact me in terms of from an energy perspective, but also from a stomach perspective. So I'm cool with caffeine.
Do you have a coffee before a run?
Do I?
Yeah.
Yeah. So driving over
I do
tomorrow, I'd have
sometimes.
a
Yeah.
coffee. Yeah.
If I've got time, I'll stop at Costa and have a coffee on the way to the start.
I'll have one 3 hours. I can't handle anything before then.
Yeah, I've stopped having it like directly before. I would. There
Need a
was a
week.
time when I no, there was a time when I first got to races, and I'd
There's
be
a
like,
song
I'm
about
going to
there
have
was
an
a time.
espresso,
There's a song called
and
There Was a Time.
that was
Not a
was
good idea.
not a
Right.
good idea to have an espresso just before you start.
Yeah.
There's a song called There Was a Time. A little tip for anybody with ADHD. ADHD and caffeine go well together.
They
But
really
don't have,
Sunday.
don't have it after. It's true.
Wilco's learning about that in his new group.
What's that?
Yeah.
Wilco's learning about that in his new working group.
It's true, Wilco. Drop that in. Oh, I've heard that ADHD and caffeine go well together. Yeah. Like, you talk about Wilco.
And then the meeting goes on for about 3 hours.
Yeah, they start talking about it. No, they won't. It will never go on for 3 hours because if you're neurodivergent, you'll get up and walk out. Because you're bored. You've got no patience. Well, it depends which way you are. If you're like me and you've got a bit of everything, then you're screwed. But it depends which person's going to walk in terms of thing. But yeah, ADHD, you get up and walk out. What was you talking about? Oh yeah, so Ben, what was you saying about it? Because you do it slightly different to me. You do it backwards. You do it. It's not the wrong way to do it, but you go behave. You get a bollock in the morning. You go thing and then thing, don't you?
Yeah, so I'll do 4.5. I'll do a gel. I'll tend to do 3 gels if it's hot or I'm kind of going for it. I'll do like Sabrina does, so 3.5, 7, 10.5, and I'll have a salt stick half a mile before those. So Barbara's salt stick, you can have a look in Holland and Barrett. They're basically salt tablets, dissolvable. You can chew them, and they're not too chalky from that. But then in a marathon, I'll do 4. I'll do a salt stick at 4 and a gel at 5. So I'll take my first 3 gels, 5, 10, 15, and then I'll do 19 and 23. But I always carry 6. So if it's hot,
I always carry 6.
I always carry an extra one.
Yeah, I do.
And even in a half, I'll carry an extra one just because I don't know if something.
Well, in case you drop one.
I'm the same.
No, more just think if it gets really hot and I'm struggling. So I only ever used to take 2 on a half, and then I did Birmingham half last year, and it was just really hot. And I'd gone, I say really hot, but not like Hackney hot or that, but I'd gone for it, and I could just feel the energy and everything just going from me. And I was like, right, I need to bring my gels forward, and because I had a spare one, it worked. And so I'll always carry, as Wilco knows, spare salt sticks as well. So I tend to pass those out.
Soppy bag.
No.
See,
bag now.
when we've got talking, because you get more of an instant hit with the salt sticks, I tend to, if I find myself in, because the gel's got to get into your system, whereas the salt sticks tend to be more, you get a quicker sort of like response, don't you?
Well,
so
actually, go on, Bill. Sorry.
If I'm finding myself in, that I need something, invariably, because I'll take the whole packet. I won't, I might use 4 salt sticks, but I'll take a whole packet with me. In my...
Oh, I know.
Yeah, I fill mine up.
The whole thing.
So I'd have, I'll think, I'll have another salt stick rather than have another gel.
Okay. I think it is interesting though, because 3 of us spoke about taking gels based on miles. And then, Chris, you were talking about doing it on time. So I do think there is you've got to figure out what works for you. Do you need to do it by time because you're going to be on your feet possibly for longer or shorter, but actually that's a better way for you? Or actually, are those mile markers essentially correlating with when you need them?
I think that's why I did that.
If I've got to 4 miles, I'm not taking my gel, then it's a bit of a wake-up call. But I'm time-based more than anything else. And that's probably because just the way I look at it, as I said to you earlier about how many grams of stuff you're consuming within periods of time. So I've always looked at it a little bit like that. Yeah. But I think an easy way to remember it is on a mileage mark, and that could be 3, that could be 4, that could be 10, whatever way you do it. Right? Those 3 things I wanted to mention about, again, not tips, but you've actually put me onto one of them, was to take gels with water. Wilco, you're talking about how long energy gels take to digest or basically get into the bloodstream. By putting them with water, it gets it in there quicker. Which is one of the reasons again why I like Kendall. If you look at Kendall, they're water based, so that's one of the reasons why I prefer them. They work for me, quicker absorption, apart from the mint element in terms of the anti-inflammatory. But one thing that it is worth considering or thinking about that can catch people out with gels is if you're taking gels with energy drinks. Yeah, honestly, I mean, you'd be surprised, and this is where some people get into trouble because it's basically a massive load of sugar, effectively being dumped into the stomach, and the stomach can react negatively to that. So if you're thinking about, I don't like gels, I don't get on with gels, well, think about how you're taking them. Are you taking them with water? Or are you taking them with a sports drink? Or what's the gap between the water intake coming in? How are you taking them? Because it might not necessarily be the gel. It's how long that's sitting in your stomach or what that's going in against. If you just had a load of, I don't know, Lucas A. Sport spoke about that tonight, and then you then go gel. Well, that's a lot of sugars in your stomach that's got to be absorbed, and if it's not getting absorbed, it's got to go somewhere.
Yeah.
Guess where that's going out. So that's something to think about. Again, look on the course maps to find out where water is available. Have your gel before that. So London's brilliant because I think they're every mile, aren't they, or something ridiculous. So you can go, I'm going to have my gel at 3.5 because then at 4 I'm going to take water. Yeah. Or I'm not going to take one because I know there's a Lucas A. Sport at mile 7, so I'm going to give it a bit of a gap. Things like that to consider. We've spoke about training with gels. I think that's really important. And the other one was to experiment with gels. People take a gel, right? And you've got to remember, it's convenience. Gels are convenience. Mm-hmm. This is what they are, okay? And there's a lot of fear around them because people don't want to get the trots. And I totally understand that, right? And people have bad experiences with them, and they're very happy to share that with people. But you have to remember, it's a convenience product that gives you a minimum amount of what you need. So like I said to you earlier, Morton gel, 25 grams of carbohydrates per sachet. Yep. When we're talking about how much carbs you need, things like that. It's a convenient way of taking carbs on, and obviously ones with caffeine or electrolytes in, another way of getting that in it. It's a convenience product. There's so many fearful stories out there from people about gels, but if go out and try stuff, because one's going to upset you, guarantee it, because it'll have something, a chemical ingredient or something in it, or the amount of that something that's in it's going to send you the other way. There may be another product that's put together differently. Again, we use Kendall because they support us, but that has a high water content versus some other gels. But that other gel may have something else in it that maybe the Kendall doesn't have. I don't know.
Yeah.
But research. Don't just be scared of gels and all the negative stories that you hear, because they are a convenient way of getting the right amount. You don't want to underfuel. That's the key message that we're saying. So go out and experiment. I think that's the key.
Yeah, I bet we all use different gels. We're all different stuff sticks. So,
I mean, one of the things that it's a very basic thing as well, and it's worth remembering. I started using High Five gels because I was doing the Yorkshire Marathon. That was the first marathon I was doing, and those were the ones they were dishing out. So I thought, if I can get on with them, and then I won't be too, because it's an extension of nothing new on race day sort of thing. If you've got I thought if I'm used to the gels that they're handing out and I need one, I'm going to be all right if I get stuck.
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? And then you see that in races, they don't give out flapjack, they don't give out Kendall mint cake. Ultra's different, but they, in those marathons, they don't give out jam sandwiches. They don't give out pretzels to people. They give you the easily accessible, or relatively, convenience product that contains roughly what you need to get round for that next up to 45 minutes.
Yeah.
And that's why we're talking about gels tonight, not the alternatives like those ones I just mentioned, which will do you good. But again, just make sure that what you're putting in adds up to effectively what you need to tick you over for that 45 minutes or whatever it is. Jelly papers, jelly beans, pretzels, jam sandwich, donuts, bananas, dried fruit,
hot cross buns.
I love a hot cross bun.
Yeah,
halfway through a long run, if I'm doing an out and back, like a 20 miler, get to 10, have a hot cross bun before I set off back again. It's lovely.
The other thing really is as well is if you are taking a gel, is not to just bang it down.
Yeah.
Take it over a period of time. Open it up, keep your little thing, put it in your pocket when you open it up, and take it. You don't have to bang it all down in one hit. Take it over a period of time. You know, like half a mile. I mean, it's quite a
I
long
think
way.
Toby taught me about that actually. Like he takes it over like half a kilometre or whatever, and he was like, "That's better than just trying to get it all down in one go and then feeling sick because."
Well, exactly. You wouldn't eat unless you're me. You won't eat all your food as quick as possible. Okay, so all people you enjoy. Admin definitely enjoys a meal.
Yeah.
But you take your time to do it because you're helping you're enjoying it, but also you're helping your digestion. Yeah. Same principle applies. Don't just bang it down and go, "Oh, that's over." I appreciate they don't taste that good. I like the Kendall ones; they taste like cowpole. But you don't have to like bang it down because it's rank. Try and find one that ain't rank.
Yeah.
I mean that's another thing to consider. Again, some people don't like the sort ones, but there's so many out there now, right? I'm sure you'll find one that you can tolerate, works for you. Tastes not too bad considering. By the way, just a spoiler to everyone, they all taste disgusting at mile 21. Just putting that out there. Everything tastes everything. You could lick the floor and it would taste better than what you're putting in there. It's so again, but so that's where we're coming on to that experimentation element of it. All right,
that's the key, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So look, I hope that's helped some. You know, everybody's, again, just to be clear, is different. The amount of the grams of carbohydrate that you're meant to take on will different per person. If you're really short like Hayden, it's a totally different thing to somebody like tall and handsome like me. It's totally different. Everybody's different how much that you have to take. But you've got to play with it, get it right. And once you get it right, let's say, if you get it right, it can honestly be a game changer. If you are fueled correctly, and it's quite like a science, obviously, but like a nuance to get right, yeah. Get that right, and it can be a huge difference on race day. But if you get it wrong, it's tragically wrong. Yeah. It can go, honestly, it can go tits up. Right. I hope that was useful. Team, what are we doing? Wilco, are you adding any value to anyone tomorrow?
Yeah, I'm going to do 6 miles for work tomorrow, and then I'm going out for a 16 miler with some of the Broxbourne gang. We're going to do a compass run, so that'll be good. You know, because we've got lots of different people going, lots of different distances, and hopefully everybody can come along and do a little bit and meet up afterwards. That'd be great. I'm really looking forward to it.
Admin, who's wedding you tomorrow?
I'm not.
Oh, so are you going?
I might actually do some running this weekend. You don't look at me like that. I did do Winter 10K 2 weeks ago.
Was you there? I can't remember.
You pulled. You're in trouble. I'm just not even going to say it.
I can't be in trouble. I ain't done nothing wrong.
I might turn up on a Tuesday soon, just to.
Please do.
It's a bit out of order.
Although he'd have probably left early.
Yeah. Oh. Ben. You've got the pleasure of me tomorrow. Are you looking forward to that?
I am. That'll take me up to 60 miles for the week.
But how much of that's walking the dog?
That's not included. Strava doesn't include dog walking.
Are you sure?
Walk and runs are two different things, aren't they?
We have to have a quick look.
He says yes.
We have to have a quick look at his Strava. Other than that, I think that's about it, isn't it? So we've managed to get through. I think
you forgot something.
Oh.
What about our award nomination?
Oh, yeah. Oh, so I'm a bit worn out now. I'm just thinking about peanut M&Ms, to be honest. I'll be straight up. That's all I've been thinking about the whole way through. Yeah, so this is quite big news, actually. I know we cock about a lot, and please don't take most of what we talk about on here seriously. That little last bit, maybe, but we got shortlisted. I've got an email through from this sports award. So it's a bit like, you know, what's that thing at Christmas with all them
personality of the year?
Yeah, it's like on that sort of scale, but it's like industry type people, and they do it like that lady from the Talk Sport boxing football lady. She hosts it and all that sort of stuff. And there's like Adidas are nominated, McLaren F1 are nominated, and all these sort of like big brands, big stuff. And then I got this email saying, "You've been shortlisted, not just nominated, shortlisted." So the panel, bless them, has had to sit there and listen to this rubbish, right? And they've gone, "Oh, that ain't bad." And to go up against, like the Overlap podcast, like with Gary Neville, Ian, you know, that massive. Like Rick Shields, if you're into golf, you'll know Rick
Oh,
Shields.
yeah.
Just sign with like Live Golf, getting paid like £10 million a video on YouTube. There's like massive, like For the Love of Rugby, I think it's another one. I mean, talking gigantic podcasts are shortlisted alongside us, who turn up. None of them film it live. They're all media companies. Nothing wrong with that, by the way. But they're all proper outfits, you know, sitting in a place. It's all set up nicely, studio, edited, scripted, and all that. None of them are talking about steamers. None of them are talking about the sort of stuff we talk about. But we've genuinely been shortlisted. I'm telling you now, we won't win.
Who
But
cares?
it's unbelievable. Yeah, go on, Wilco.
Have I got to take me tux to the cleaners?
No. It's just pointless. It's just absolutely pointless.
And they got big dinner or nothing.
There's more chance. Honestly, there's more chance of admin running Boston next couple of weeks than us winning that. Oh, yeah, exactly, admin. That's what I'm saying to you. We've got no chance. But to even be shortlisted, just think about it. There's going to be like this massive like show thing, and then some geezer's going to read out. Nominated or shortlisted. The overlap. Rick Shields. Hi, Rick. Oh, and what's this? Who's that geezer? And it's going to what? What's it? And then someone's going to question it. And we'll get read out. It's amazing, isn't it? It's crazy. So look, thanks to everybody who supports the pod. Tell everyone about it. We don't do, as you know, we don't do any advertising. We can't be bothered. Just keep telling everyone about it. Keep telling your mates about it. Keep leaving positive reviews, please. Just keep spreading the word. We really genuinely appreciate it. It honestly stopped me in my tracks when I looked on when I went on their website. I thought it was a joke to me firstly, because Hayden rang me and said, because he knows what I'm like, have you actually read that email? Have you just deleted it and forwarded it to me and deleted it? And I said, I've read it, but he said, no, have you seen who's on there? And like last year, like Dame Kelly, the cyclist lady, what's her face?
Laura Kenny.
Laura Kenny, yeah. She was there giving out awards. Jake Humphries was there giving out awards. I mean, it's a proper deal, yeah. And there's us on the thing.
We should definitely go. Let's go. Let's have a night out.
I think like a table, right? Get a table now. How much do you reckon for a table?
10 grand.
And yeah, basically it's 11 grand plus VAT.
Yeah.
We could crowdfund it. Get the punters to pay.
Yeah.
We'll
do a live show while we're there.
Who's got 12 grand? I suppose if you're like
Hayden.
We should tap Hayden up. I'll speak to him after this because he's in Lisbon with me. Right, team. That's it from us. But yeah, genuinely thanks. Good chat, admin, to remind me on that one. Anyone seen the outro? Oh, and good news, by the way. The mouse lasted. I need some peanut M&Ms. I'm going to charge the mouse. So we shall see you all. I'm live on Monday. Have a great weekend. That's the opening. I don't want to press that. I want to press that one. See you later.
See ya.